This body has been, done, and felt so much that the story it's journeyed through has found its meeting with the soul. Do we hide it? Do we heal it? Is it true? Does it define us? The eyes we hold has witnessed what was felt, transforming the mind and moving it back and forth between what's true, what's false, what's real, and what's not. The inner workings, wonderings, and wanderings that we want to follow, finding that courage deep within to let go of what we've known and transmute what we've been holding. It's time to let go. It's time to heal our bodies. It's time to hear, listen, and feel the voices of our body. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Voices of the Body, the podcast. My name is Love Ashley Elaine, and I'm going to be your guide as we continue to journey through our healing, our stories, and this thing called life. This episode, we get to sit down and chat with such an amazing friend of mine, Carlie, as she talks to us about what it was like spending 2 years traveling the whole entire world. Yes, the last 2 years. She just got back home to the States and the reintegration process has begun. So, you know the vibes. Prepare your mind, body, and soul as we get into this episode. And welcome back. So, we're going to just do some belly breathing, 3-part breath, right? And I really want you to focus on the breath, right? Coming out of your mind, dropping into your body, and really allowing yourself to just feel the breath. Even if it feels like a struggle or it's not coming naturally to you, um, to move the breath into 3 parts, right? Just allow the space to hold you, to be able to just do some breath work, right? To really just connect with your breath. That's the biggest and most important part, is connecting to your breath, right? So find a comfortable seated posture, one that allows you to really connect your tailbone to the ground, to the bed, wherever you're sitting, excuse me. Option here is to bring your gaze down your nose or completely close your eyes, whichever allows you to feel safe in your surroundings and within your body, and while you're doing this breath work practice. So we'll just start with 3 big rounds of breath. Take a nice big inhale, really taking in all the air that you can. And gently exhale, sending that breath back down the body. Nice big inhale. Taking in all the air. And gently exhale. Last one, nice big inhale. And this time, when you get to the top of your breath, hold it for a count of 4, 3, 2, 1. And gently exhale, right? Keeping that transition space nice and calm. Beautiful. So we'll move into the 3-part breath. So allow yourself to take a nice inhale, right? And really move slow. Keep the breath at ease so that you can feel the breath moving into 3 parts. So we'll inhale and begin to fill up the belly as if you're filling up a balloon. Then sending that breath up to the chest, feeling that part of your body expand. Then bringing the breath up to the throat area, feeling that area expand. And gently exhale, keeping the breath nice and steady. Beautiful. One more time, filling up the belly as we inhale. Then allowing the breath to travel up to the heart space, filling up the chest. Then allowing the breath to move up to the throat area, to the head portion of the body, filling up the throat. And gently exhale. We'll do that one more time. We'll inhale, filling up the belly. Then bring that breath up to the chest, feeling the chest expand. Then bring that breath up to the throat area and the head, feeling expansion in that space. And gently exhale. So you can move through that a few more rounds, right? But you can also just bring that into your toolbox, right? For just coping, just coming back to your breath, just coming back into awareness of this present space. But the main thing is to focus on your breath and be aware of your breath and aware of your body as the breath moves, right? Really coming out of the head, trying to figure out logistically, right? If this is supposed to be how you're doing it, or if you're moving right, or if there's really 3 parts of the breath or 3 parts of the body that the breath can move into, or how it even works, right? Come out of your head and tap into your body. Really allow your body to guide you through the breath, right? And allow your breath to signal to your body, hey, here I am. Look at me, right? So you can pause at any moment, as you all know. Take some time to journal what that experience felt like for you. Sit with it, do it a little longer, whatever serves you in this moment, and we will be right back. And welcome back to Voices of the Body. So I think I'm now just gonna stop saying that every episode is like really special to me because anybody that I've chosen, like, or have asked and they said yes to coming on and like sharing their story, sharing their journey, like, are just special people, period, right? So I have with me my good girlfriend. I met her in Costa Rica, and she is the doll that like mentioned something about Cambodia and I came running. So I have with me Miss Carlie. How are you?
Oh, I'm so good. I'm so grateful to be here.
Thank you. And yes, I know you're always like, "Oh no, don't give me the credit," but I believe like just watching your journey and us meeting last year in Costa Rica and like I think I had asked you where you were from and you were just like, "Wherever the wind blows." And I was like, "Ooh, I want to know more."
Sounds like something I'd say.
And then just seeing like how you would just like move about the literal world teaching and just like it was like that's like what I want to do, close to what I want to do and feel like I have the
Mm.
capacity to do. So when you posted that you were leaving Cambodia and then like the whole nine, I went through all the feels and emotions and then realized I had it on my vision board and was like, "Oh no, this is where I'm supposed to be." Like, thank you for just being authentic to your journey and saying
Mm.
yes to your journey because you definitely like opened up something in me to continue to say yes, right? To that unknown, to that scary place, but something that I like have desired to do. So thank you for sticking to your journey, sticking to your script.
Oh, it's so sweet. I love that. And thank you for, being open and curious and willing to step into wherever that call takes you. And I remember when you told me, when you were asking about it, we were talking about you coming to Cambodia, and then you came back and said, it was on my vision board. I got chills. It felt
Mm.
so aligned and so perfectly like where you were supposed to be. And I was just so excited for you.
Yeah, thank you. So tell us, who is
hmm
Carlie?
Oh, she is a wild child. Um, Honestly, I'm so grateful for these last 2 years because I've been able to really tap into that childlike part of me and, yeah, just really enjoy moving around, freely and, not easily, but freely.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah, I'm a teacher and I am a sister and a daughter and a lover and a friend and I'm grateful. I am so so grateful to live this life and I am learning that I am love, that I am so fully love embodied. And what a beautiful way to to understand life, honestly.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah, lots of things.
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful. So before we get into like the travel journey, right? What
Mm.
was where were you in life that was just kind of like, I think this is what I need to do, or that just prompted you to just say, you know what, I need to go see what's out there?
Truthfully, I there's a lot that I could say, but at the end of the day, I felt that I was not living purpose.
Mm,
And I was not feeling fulfilled. I wasn't finding joy in what I was doing. And I had everything that I thought I needed, a good job and the house and cars and my partner and stability and la la la. And it was just not fulfilling. And Um, now it feels like an out of body experience really to think back on like that life that I was living and
mm,
I feel a lot of imposter syndrome or that I was feeling imposter syndrome and differently than what I normally talk to yoga teachers about what we experience now on
yeah.
imposter syndrome. But I don't feel like I was living my own life the way that I was called to or that I really wanted to. And it was really scary, but and it took me a long time to find that courage and figure it out, but, and really to find myself capable and worthy,
Mm,
honestly, but at some point, I was just so tired of the cycle and staying where I was, and, it wasn't gonna change. It had been these 7 years of climbing the ladder in corporate and trying different jobs and different things, and, yeah, it wasn't working out.
yeah. Were you already like a yoga teacher before you started traveling, or how did you come into yoga?
It, well, it all kind of came at the same time. Well, yoga had been a part of my life for a long time. I
Mm-hmm.
had kind of already always known of yoga when I was young, and my mom was a Pilates teacher, and her one of her friends was a Tai Chi teacher, and things like that. So these kinds of things were introduced to me when I was young, but I first really started having my own personal practice and starting to understand what that meant for me about 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I became a teacher 2 years ago, like, uh,
Nice, nice. Now, was it like becoming a teacher? And so when you say like becoming a teacher and then like your travels all kind of came together at once, was it you're traveling outside for teacher training and then just kind of like kept going from there?
pretty much, yeah.
Mm.
2 years ago was my first yoga teacher training where I first did my original 200 hour, and that was in Costa Rica.
Hmm.
And yeah, that's kind of when it all happened. It was the first time that I was venturing out kind of on this path by myself. And um, I remember arriving in Costa Rica and just feeling like I could breathe again for the first time,
Mm. Hmm.
for the first time in a long time. Yeah.
Yeah. Oof, that is there. Yeah, because I think people they get into this mode where, and like you said, you've been in it, I've been in it, where it's like, okay, like there's this American dream that we're being told is gonna make our life great, right? It's like you got to have a car by
Mhm.
this age, you got to have kids by this age, you got to have a partner by this
Mhm.
age, you got to have the house or your own place and all these different things. And it's like those things are nice, right? We need a house, we need transportation, right?
Mhm.
It's nice to have your own kids, right? Both. And there's also like this kid in all of us that are just like, but I want to see what's over here, right? I want to go play with the kids like on this big playground and see what they're
Yeah.
doing, because they actually look happy, right? they
Yeah.
actually they actually look like, they're enjoying what they're doing, right? And it's not to say
Mhm.
that it's an escape, right? But it's like, or an escape from anything being hard or a certain reality, right? But it's like, what if I just decided to tap into that inner child and see what she wants to do? How is that going to
Mhm.
feel? How is that going to look? Where is that going to lead me, right? Did you ever at any point feel like you were like escaping a reality or recreating a reality, or what was that like as you started like traveling, right? Like now you're in Costa Rica and you're leaving Costa Rica to go wherever's next, where most people are like, okay, well, I'm going back home, right? But you're like, no, I'm gonna go left and see what happens. What was that like? Yeah, what was that moment like for you?
Overwhelming
Mm.
in so many different ways. I felt incredibly empowered,
Mm.
honestly, and also sad. I had to make a lot of hard decisions, and a lot of them were, they were heartbreaking, and it was a challenge. And can I do this? Do I have it in me? And is this the right thing? And all of those questions that we ask ourselves. But I felt so empowered. Going to the other playground, like you said, it was curiosity, and it was something that I knew I needed to do for myself, and to um, have the space to remember parts of myself that had been forgotten. And um, so I was really overwhelmed with empowerment and gratitude and freedom. Like I said, I could breathe again.
Yeah.
And just I think knowing that the life that I wanted to live, or that I felt called to live, was available for me, and I could see that for the first time, was just wow.
Yeah.
Was huge.
Yeah. Whew, man, like, oh gosh. It's it's liberating. It's liberating
Mhm.
to step out into the unknown. It's very liberating
Yeah.
to step out into the unknown, right? Wow. So how many places have you been?
Oh gosh. Uh,
And if you want to share all of them.
let's see. Well, I grew up in Spain,
Okay.
and then I lived in the States. Let's see, Canada, Costa Rica, Mexico, Peru. I'm just gonna make my way across. It might not be in the order. Morocco, Egypt, mm, 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 Bali, Thailand, Cambodia, India. I know I'm missing a few, but yeah, I've made my way
Hmm.
from west to east and back again.
Yeah. Yeah. How old were you born in Spain or did you like how was that?
I was born in the States,
Okay.
and when I was really little, we moved to Spain. My stepdad was Spanish, so we moved when I was like 6 or 7,
Mm-hmm.
and I lived there until I was about 17,
Oh, nice.
16 or 17, and then I
Mm-hmm.
came back to the States to finish school.
Hmm. So do you ever think that that experience is what kind of called you to travel again?
I think it has a lot to do with it, absolutely.
Yeah.
Having been so young and exposed to, a different culture and yeah, just experiencing what it's like to live in a different world with different people and a different way of life, really, I think, encouraged me. It shaped, the way that I grew up, and I feel very connected to the way of life in Spain, and I think that definitely opened up a lot of curiosity and actually, like you asked me a moment ago, if I ever felt that I was like running away or escaping something of some sort, and truthfully, I feel like I've always been running toward. I was always running toward looking for something or finding something within myself or in the world, and I think it definitely stems from my childhood of being placed in a new space and having the opportunity to really explore what life looks like in a completely different way.
Mm. That's ooh, talking about like inner child, right? It's like your inner child's
Mhm.
like, wait, 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 wait. I've done this before. Like, I want to do it
Yeah,
again. I want to do it
yeah.
again, but like see multiple different ways of living and being and doing and speaking and all these different things. So it's not by happenstance that you were drawn to like traveling and like just being in so many different places. What's the longest you've stayed somewhere?
Um, 3 months.
3 months. Where was that?
Yeah. I was 3 months in Morocco.
Hmm.
Yeah, that was the longest, and I had other opportunities to stay longer in places and, I'm notorious for my plans changing from day to day, so,
Hmm.
yeah, that was the longest.
Yeah. What is like the biggest thing that you've learned from maybe one from a particular culture that you have either like really resonated with or it brought you deeper into like relationship with self?
Mm, so that's a good question.
Mm.
I think, I've learned a lot from each place I've been in, and, I've appreciated a lot of different things from different cultures and different people and their ways of life. But I think the biggest, most important, most beautiful lesson for me that I learned was ultimately finding a home within myself and just witnessing myself in different spaces and um, people interacting with their families and their communities and their devotion to their spirituality and their religious practices and um, it makes you question a lot in your life and a lot of the way that you live and um, yeah, I definitely found myself in a wondering like these feelings of belonging or not belonging in one space or within myself and um traveling full time like that can really make you feel ungrounded sometimes and yeah, just being able to find this sense of peace within myself that I am my home, that my practice is my home, my relationship with my spirituality is my home. I found that peace there, and so I think it was a collective,
Mhm.
an experience from the collective, right? That
Yeah.
not one culture in particular, but witnessing different ways of life and um, yeah, people's devotion to their own practice and their own spiritual journeys, and really was motivating for me and really helped me understand like it doesn't matter where I am in the world that I'm always home if I'm with myself and I'm at peace with myself and I have my daily rituals and I have my spiritual practices and I step forth in those even when I'm not at my best, and accepting wherever I am at that time and loving myself so fully and unconditionally in those moments were yeah, biggest game changer for me.
Yeah. Oh, that's so beautiful, so beautiful. Because there is an aspect of travel where, like, you can meet certain people in the States who are from, other countries, grew up in other countries, or their ancestors came over to the States from another country, whatever, what have you. But I think there's something powerful about being completely immersed in another country's system, their language, their way of doing things, their, like, you go out on the street and, just the way people greet you and there's something very immersive about that experience. I'm still trying to find the
Mhm.
words of how to explain it. But it does, yeah, it does bring you into a space of like, wow, like I am always home with myself, right? Like I
Mhm.
am always keeping joy in this home and keeping love in this home because it's exuding in a space where I may not know the language, but because I understand love and that's a room in my house, right? My body is my home. I understand love and it's
Mhm.
a room in my house, my heart space, right? It's speaking when I see like little kids who probably have never seen somebody that looked like me before, or can look
Mhm.
at you and tell that you're not from their culture, right? So yeah, like that's
Mhm.
oh, that was beautiful, so beautiful. Um, yeah. What is like the shortest time you've stayed in a country, and is it for any particular reason?
Um, usually I'll average at about 3 or 4 weeks.
Mhm.
Um, but I think, Sri Lanka was maybe a week and a half, and then Nepal was back to back to Egypt for about a week and a half, so they were shorter, but, they were a bit more of a backpacking experience. I was traveling with a friend at the time, um, which I don't usually do,
Mm.
and that's another part of, I think, there's something about traveling alone and worlds alone that you really face yourself in a lot of different ways that you never would otherwise. And so that's a huge part, I think, of yeah, learning about yourself, learning to love yourself, and learning to hold this temple and this home as this sacred space of life. So yeah, that was a bit different. It was towards the end of my travels this last time
Yeah. Yeah. Were
before
there
coming home to visit family.
Yeah. Were there any like countries that you were in where you were like, "Oh, I could see myself like making this home," like planning roots?
Um, I'm not sure.
Mhm.
I've loved each of them for so many different reasons, and I'm so grateful to have had the experiences and grateful to have been welcomed in these different lands and um yeah, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure anything has called me long term just yet. Um yeah, I think I'm still gonna explore a bit. There's much more to see and feel and learn and um yeah, we'll see what happens, but not
Yeah.
quite yet.
Yeah. So after 2 years of like not touching USA soil, um, what was that like coming back? Like what was that transition?
Interesting. I I'm so grateful to be here now and getting to spend time with family and friends and you miss a lot of things while you're gone, weddings and babies being born and just your siblings growing up and having babies and those babies, beginning to grow up and um yeah, I'm really, really soaking in all the moments that I'm
Mhm.
getting and spending as much time as I can with the people that I love here. Um, but really interesting. It's culture shock,
Mhm.
definitely.
Mhm.
It's a way of life that I'm not quite used to anymore, of things being so fast paced or so big and so bold in their own way. And yeah, my system isn't agreeing very well with the food.
Mhm.
um, yeah, driving everywhere myself is also an adjustment. I haven't driven my car in a long time, and
Yeah.
yeah, it's definitely a different way. And I'm navigating finding what life looks like for me here while I'm here,
Mhm.
because it's very, the life that I live now is very different than the one that I lived when I was here. So yeah, it's been really interesting. I think witnessing myself in this space now is yeah a challenge, but a good one.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, what's next for you? Anything in mind, or you just still trying to like figure out how to just integrate?
Um, I am figuring out how to integrate for sure, and I think that's mostly what I need to be doing because my next steps aren't just coming to me.
Mhm.
I think I'm being gifted with some space right now and opportunity to silence the mind and get back to listening. Um, so truthfully, I'm not really sure what's next.
Mhm.
There have been times where things seemed really clear and I've heard the calling and I followed it and also, like I said, every time that I think that I have a plan, it changes, which is pretty much every day.
Mhm. Mhm.
But there is this organization called It's trauma recovery yoga, and they hold classes for refugees in the Middle East. And I'm very passionate about this work, and for the last 5 months in my mind, I was moving to Iraq like next week, and to work with them and they're doing really amazing work. They're launching some teacher trainings. They're working to launch teacher trainings um, in Syria and Lebanon and Ukraine. And so they go in and they teach local teachers so that they can serve in their communities. And it's really powerful, really amazing work that they're doing. And I was very sure that that's what was next. And I was preparing to do this. And now I know um, that it's something that I will do eventually, but I'm not sure that it's it's what's next.
Yeah.
I have also a recent recovery home, which is actually a home that I lived in at the beginning of my healing journey when I was 18. And yeah, it's something that I've always also felt called to come back and do one day. And I had a trauma recovery retreat in Rockford near the house, and I invited the house to come, and they attended, and it was just this really incredible full circle moment, and really brought me more thoughts of, I've spent all this time collecting experiences and knowledge that I'm incredibly grateful for, and there are things that I definitely feel called to share with this community and this place, that once gifted me my second chance at life. And
Mhm.
um, yeah, so I'm sitting with it all and trying to listen for what's next and whatever's meant to be and what that looks like. And, because living in the States isn't something that I had seriously considered. And it will be a challenge to, like I said, redefine what my life looks like here, but that's also really exciting. So, yeah, I'll keep you
Yeah.
posted.
Of course, of course. It's all part of the journey, right? Even I mean, to
Mhm.
try and separate experiences and compartmentalize, like, being gone for 2 years and now, being in the States, it's like, okay, well, if we're flowing and trusting, right, then wherever you're supposed to land again is where you're gonna land, so I'm grateful that you have, like, this time of recalibration. Right?
Mhm.
It's like allow all of the things that you've experienced, the the different spiritual ignitement from each piece of land that you've been on, because that's a deep connection, right? Like
Mhm.
letting it all marinate into like this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful stew of who Carly is. So yeah, enjoy your rest, girl. Enjoy your
Yeah.
rest. Yes. Yeah,
Thank
enjoy
you.
it.
I'm grateful for it. Yeah, I think it's been 2 years of experiences, and no matter how incredible and how hard that they've been, it's been fast. Everything is very fast paced, I think, when you live that way. And I feel like I have 2 years of my life to integrate now. And I just need,
Absolutely.
yeah, I've needed the time and the space to let it, yeah,
Yeah.
settle in and feel it in my body and let that marinate. Yep.
Yeah, yeah. Even the hard parts of the
Yes.
experience, right? The hard parts of traveling, the hard parts of
Yeah.
or challenging parts, right, of being in a country that is not your home, right? And integrating into that and really finding your footprints in the soil.
Mhm.
So, yeah. Oh, thank you so much for sharing your journey,
Yeah.
right? As beautiful as like traveling is, I think it's even more beautiful to just see how you integrate yourself back into wherever you are, whatever you do, like those experiences, all of that. Like I'm excited to see definitely what's next for you.
Yeah, me too. Thank
Mhm.
you. It's yeah, it's all part of the journey. It's interesting to witness how all these different pieces that you don't realize at the time, but how they're being woven into the
Mhm.
next step, and later look back and like, oh wow, that makes a lot more sense now.
Mm. Oh, yeah. Oh, you're at
Mm.
that phase of your integration. This is gonna be fun.
Yeah. Yeah. I was reading something that I wrote recently, like it was for my 2 year. I was just sitting back and reflecting on a lot of the things, and what I had experienced, and the end really, I don't remember writing this last piece at the end.
Mhm.
Do you mind if I read the whole thing to you real quick?
Yeah, sure.
It's
So let's do this real quick. We'll take a
yeah.
quick breath break and then we'll be right back. And we are back. Everybody take a nice big inhale and exhale. Beautiful, beautiful.
Mm.
Yes, let's hear the magic that you wrote.
It's just a reflection on the last 2 years. It was at my 2 year on the road mark, and I think it sums up a lot of what I experienced, and with a very interesting ending that um, kind of makes a lot of things make sense, but also
Mm-hmm.
questioning a lot of things.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
um, so let me see. Okay. So it's been 2 years since I've made really difficult decisions that broke my heart, but knew that they were the right ones. 2 years since I walked away from the man I thought I'd marry, the job I worked to climb the ladder in, and the house that was my home. 2 years since I decided to start a new career and get on the road indefinitely, and it has been a wild ride. In these 2 years, I've loved and I've lost. I found purpose in sharing. I've learned difficult lessons. I've trained in subjects that I'm passionate about and found passion where I didn't expect to. I've been healing from the things I didn't know hurt me so deeply. I've crossed the earth from west to east and back again. I've learned to live so differently in each country and try to maintain some routine. I've gained 2 years of the most precious experiences of my life, moments that brought me much clarity and direction, people who taught me to love deeper, and circumstances that guided me to show up even when I was not at my best. The road gifted me the ability to feel softness when life demanded my strength, and vulnerability was so generously rewarded with relationships for a lifetime. I learned to play new instruments and to sing out loud, to dance freely no matter who's watching. I met jungles and oceans, seas and deserts, pyramids and mountains, many cities and native villages. Though meeting these earthly places were more a gift I could never ask for, it's what I met inside of me in these places that changed my life. I met my pain, not always so gracefully, as I climbed mountains at 3 a.m. in the dark, a spiritual practice that allowed me to witness the clearing of the fog, and the sun rose to shine its light on the shadowy spots, and I learned to breathe again. I met fears in the desert, fears of my life not being enough, and the soft tan dunes, glazed golden, melted my heart right open, and there was peace. And this is something I learned from the book The Alchemist. It talks about how the desert knows all and she'll test you even long after you've left her. Once you've
Mm.
stood your feet in the cool morning sand, she'll never leave you. The sea washed me clean, the waves clearing tears from my face and filling my being with courage. The strong currents made me fight for the life I knew I deserved, and the water also knew. And the ocean, while she was sweet and held me in pure mystery, had me wondering what was next, but never questioning. Laying upon the water, I trusted what was to come. I didn't need to know. I was content with exactly where I was. I've met faces that reflected my life back to me. I saw parts of myself in their ways, and maybe I started to love those things in me because it's what I loved in them. I thought it would just be me out there, but it wasn't. Everything to ever exist was within me, and I one with it all. It's my love story, the journey within of knowing me. My heart is learning to know no bounds, to open endlessly and without hesitation, slowly embracing every part of myself and feeling reverence for her fully, being patient as the same extends to others. God, I love this life. How could I be so blessed beyond reason? It's been so good to me and has brought me to a place in my soul where I feel ready to be in a longer term earthly home. This is what I
Mm.
don't remember reading or writing.
Mm.
I'm feeling ready to take all that I've lived on the road and live it in a community for a while. 2 years around the sun and howling at the moon, I'm returning to the States, to the place that held me in the beginning stages of my healing, the place I once built a life I owe so much to, Rockford. I'm ready to give back now. Super interesting. That I wrote specifically Rockford. And I'm remembering now, um, I did a 7 day Vipassana meditation Thailand where we spent 7 days in silence, just 7 days meditating, and, um, something that continued to come up for me over and over was Rockford, and this, adolescent home, and just kept coming up in my mind, and it's like, "That's really interesting. Why does this keep coming back?" And, I think I accepted at the time that, okay, my work isn't done, and I'm definitely being called back, but I didn't know when or what that looked like, and, so it's interesting that I'm here and that actually might be a potential opportunity now, so,
Mm.
yeah.
Oh, that was beautiful. The love story, right?
Mm.
Ooh. Mm.
Thanks for listening.
Of course. Thank you. Thank you for sharing because you could have kept that
Mhm.
locked away. And, thank you for sharing that with me, with all of us. Um, oh man.
Mhm.
The beginning of this year, my vow to myself was to fall so deeply in love with me that
Mhm.
anybody that wanted access to me would have to go to God first.
Mm.
And
Wow.
to hear you talk about just the relationship with the earth, right? Because
Mhm.
that's our first nurturer, right? And
Mhm.
how all of this has just been written to be your love story. It's like that's the journey, right?
Mhm.
They know, like, my listeners know I'm obsessed with the book Yoga and the Dark Night of the Soul. I did like a whole book club thing on it, but like
Oh.
the very last part of that is like sacred love, right? And to see just like the depths of how you just kept saying yes to yourself, right? In
Mm.
the most uncomfortable spaces and like probably living arrangements and just all these things, like you allowed yourself to just go deeper and deeper and deeper and go within, go within, go within, and really like
Mhm.
do healing work, right? Because
Yeah.
traveling is healing, right? Like you
Yeah.
have no choice but to
Yeah.
face yourself. No choice, right? Because you're choosing to put yourself in spaces that are not yours, right? But you can still connect with. Right? It's
Mhm.
just what part of you do you wanna connect with what part of the land,
Mhm.
right? So, the darkness of you could easily connect to the darkness of all of these lands because every land has its light and every land has its darkness, right? But you chose to keep going, keep digging deeper to building your love story, creating that love story, loving yourself so that you can allow love in from the land. Because I believe that if land doesn't want you there, it's going to reject you.
Oh, yeah, which has also happened.
I'm curious.
Oh, man. Yeah, that's a whole I mean, maybe a story for a whole 'nother time,
Perfect. Perfect. I know how to find
yeah,
you.
sometimes yeah, the intensity of spaces is sometimes just not you can feel in your body, pretty immediately when you're not supposed to be somewhere, it's like, "Ooh, I'm here to learn a lesson and to feel this heaviness," and I I definitely feel like it's things that, we should all experience at some point in our lives, and what it's like to be in a place where you're the minority and where you don't know the ways of life. And yeah, it's something that I'm blessed to have experienced and also blessed to know in my body when something just isn't right and when it's time to go.
Oh yeah, that heightened awareness of, oop, I don't this is it. nope, time to
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
Like, oh
Yeah, and on the
man.
flip, when it's so inviting and like, "Ah, yeah, this is exactly where I'm supposed to be right now," and which you
Mm,
are at every moment, right? I still had lessons to learn in the places that I had to learn to feel it in my body and know when it's time to move and take action for myself in certain instances, but also, yeah, on the flip of like, wow,
yeah,
just full immersion, being fully, taken in and yeah, very, very extreme opposite experiences, and they're so equally, empowering.
yeah,
Like you said, the darkness and the pain and the chaos sometimes is what takes you deeper. And yeah, you are faced with the reality of what life is and who you are in that moment. And um, yeah, you learn a lot about yourself and about the way of life in the darkness. And yeah, I really learned to show up for myself and learned that I am capable of still showing up for other people in the midst of not being at my best and going through some stuff. And that um, that the light and the darkness can coexist, right? That the
yeah,
beauty and the love and um, the passionate pieces of life can still coexist with the pain when you're going through a healing journey, and that was a really important realization for me.
such magic, such magic.
Mhm.
Oh, Carlie, thank you so
Mm.
much for like just being you and being authentic to what gives you life, right? Like we're all living, but are we actually like are we just here or are we actually engaging in it and really allowing life to give us something and us give it something also, right? Giving it that meaning and that purpose and really being in a space to go deeper and find it and live it out loud and dance in the rain and, melt our feet in the desert, like
Mhm.
really connecting with a version of us that we no longer just dream about, right?
Mhm.
So thank you for doing that. I believe whatever it is you do next, all of all of the pieces of your puzzle are going to fall right into place of who Carlie's higher self is, and the people that you're going to
Mhm.
be called to are they're going to be so blessed by whatever it is that you offer them through just like word and then through body expression, because you're an amazing movement person. Like you're like when you post your videos, I'm just like, man, like she is graceful. Like it's
Oh.
yeah, it's beautiful. So I can definitely like see your story. I feel your story. I like love it. Keep being you. Please, 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 please.
Mm. You're so sweet. I love you so much, and I'm so, so grateful to you for holding the space to let me be heard and speak some of these experiences. And I'm grateful to know you. I'm really so blessed to have you in my life and witness you on your journey. And just thank you for stepping into your courage and listening to the call and moving forth. It's not an easy thing to do, but it's so inspiring. It's so
Yeah.
incredibly inspiring to watch you just move through life as you're called to do it. And um yeah, it's what launched me into this part of my journey was witnessing other people and their authenticity and
Mhm.
living this life and showing, that it is possible when you have a little faith in yourself. And so thank you for being that for the rest of us also. I really appreciate you.
Aw. It's also like our 1 year anniversary. Jacqueline,
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Jacqueline and I were messaging each other because I'm trying to do like another episode with her, and she was like,
Oh,
"Today makes it 1 year that we've met," and I was just like, "Oh my god!" And then I talked to
oh.
Miranda the other day, so yeah, like this is right on schedule, which is crazy,
Mhm.
so crazy. Yeah, we were
Yeah.
in Costa Rica this time last year.
Ugh, it was so good, so good. Just
Wow,
another, example that, this life brings so many blessings and
so
so many full
many.
circle moments that, yeah, just relationships and friendships and love for a lifetime. Oh, I'm
Yeah.
so grateful.
Yeah. Oh, me too. Me too. Thank you so, so much. And we will be right back. Yeah, I'm so grateful for Carlie. I'm grateful for her coming and sharing her journey with us. 2 years. That's a lot of time. Rediscovering, redefining, just a lot of ups and downs, a lot of missing out, a lot of constantly saying yes to you, yes to your journey, yes to what you need for you to be able to do what you were born to do, but also show up um, in integrity and authenticity for the people around you. Um, also, like, didn't know she was going to share at the end, so I'm really grateful that she trusted this space to be able to share such a deep reverence for who she's allowed herself to grow into and discover and love even more. It all comes back to sacred love, right? That first sacred love has to be with ourselves. That way we can pour out effectively and efficiently and with boundary, with ease, with so much grace and love to other people and for the people that we are called to service. So yeah, yeah. I'm grateful that she stayed true to her journey, which allowed me to stay true to mine, stay true to mine in a deeper way. So grateful for that connection, so grateful. There's a fear sometimes that we have when, if we leap, right, that there will be no one there, but like God knows, right, who to send into your vortex. I like to call it your vortex. Who to send. Like, I met Carlie last summer along with like a lot of other amazing people who still to this day I've been connected to, and we're all in the same space. We all speak the same language. We're all very like supportive of one another, and the reciprocity is very, very genuine. No one's pouring out too much, no one's giving too much, no one's taking too much. It's all love. Like, it's all organic, it's all authentic. So yeah, like, it's okay sometimes to let go, and see what's on the other side. Sometimes the unknown is better than where you've been, but sometimes we just stay complacent with where we've been because it's all we know, and there's no harm or foul in that either. So yeah, I hope this blessed y'all. I hope this awakened you a little bit deeper to just what saying yes to yourself looks like, what taking that risk, what taking that leap really looks like, because we don't know what's on the other side. But is it enough for you to say, I want to see? Right? Somewhere in adulthood, we lost our curiosity. So I love y'all for free. Until next time.